Hey guys, this is the topic review for Year 9 on page 21. We're going to do questions 7 and 8. Question 7 says solve the following equations. Give these solutions in simplest third form where necessary. Okay, I'm going to isolate that question so we can do some working out. So for the first one, excuse my voice, you're going to have x minus 10 squared equals to 36. Now if you're not sure what to do, you might want to try expanding this. Maybe you might want to do x squared minus 20x plus 100 is equal to 36. And then you might want to minus 36 to both sides because we want to make this side 0. Okay, and we minus 36 here, so you get x squared minus 20x plus 64 is equal to 0. Then we can factorize this. We can say x, let me see, kind of think of two numbers two numbers that multiply to positive 64 and the same two numbers that add to minus 20. So I believe they're both going to be minus. That will be 16 and 4, so minus 16 and minus 4, and you're going to get x minus 16 times x minus 4 is equal to 0. So therefore x is equal to 16 and x is equal to 4, which is correct. These are the correct answers. However, if you do this way, once you get to this step, the only way to solve it using factorizing is if these are whole numbers. Okay, these are whole numbers, we call them integers. So these have to be integers for this kind of factorization method to work. What happens if it's not a whole number? What if it's a third? What if x is equal to like root 3 or root 2 or something? Then it's going to be really hard for you to guess what kind of numbers multiply to 64 or add up to 20 or whatever it happens to be, right? So this method is not really good for this kind of situation. So what we're going to do is do a different way. So instead of expanding, what we're going to do is this. When you have it in this form, the best way to solve for it is to do the square root of both sides. If you square root this side, this square root and this square will cancel out, so all you have is x minus 10 is equal to, now the square root on the other side is you're going to have a plus minus 6. When you square root a positive whole number, you're going to get two values. You're going to get the positive 6 and you're going to get negative 6, because if you square this you'll get 36. If you square this you'll also get 36. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Every time you square root a positive whole number or positive any number, you're going to get two solutions. Okay, so we have here two solutions. We have x minus 10 is equal to a positive 6, and we have x minus 10 is equal to negative 6. Now what we're going to do to solve for x, well, we're going to add 10 to both sides, and then x is equal to 6 plus 10 is 16. There's your first solution. We're going to add 10 to both sides for this second one here, and minus 6 plus 10, x equals to 4. And there's your second solution. This is a better way to solve for your x if they give it to you in this form. Alright, let's do question B. So here what we're going to do is we're going to do the square root of both sides, and you're going to get x plus 6 is equal to, remember, plus minus the square root of 50. Now if you remember your thirds, square root of 50 is the same as the square root of 25 times the square root of 2. Square root of 25, that's just 5. So you're going to get 5 times square root of 2, and that just makes 5 root 2. Okay, so x plus 6 is equal to plus minus 5 root 2. Now to solve for x, all we're going to do is minus 6 to both sides, and you're going to get x is equal to plus minus 5 root 2 minus 6. There's your answer. Sorry about my voice, it's a bit crackling today and a bit nasal. So anyway, even though this is one line, you actually have two solutions here. Your first solution is a positive 5 root 2 minus 6, and your second solution is minus 5 root 2 minus 6. If you put into the calculator, you'll get some sort of irrational number, some decimal. Okay. They want, because question 7 says to give your solution in simplest third form, we leave it like this. Okay. There you go. Yeah, so this solution, this method to solve it can also give us our third form. Whereas if you expand it, you won't get the third form. You'll be struggling to find out what the when you're trying to factorize. Okay, so this is the way to do it. Now let's do question 8. I'm gonna move this down. Okay. Alright, question 8. It says, solve each equation by completing the square, give the solutions correct to 2 decimal places. Okay. So question 8a. Now if you've forgotten how to do complete the square, I'll just give you a quick revision here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 7 to both sides. Okay, so get the constant and move it to the other side. So what you're going to have is x squared plus 2x is equal to 7. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and add a certain number, add something here. And if whatever number I add here, I have to add the same number here to keep the equation the same. Okay. So when you add a number, you have to add it in a strategic way. You have to add a certain number which allows you to factorize this into x plus a squared. So what number should it be? Well, let's have a look at this one here. Okay, let's expand this. What should this one look like when you expand it? You're going to get x squared plus with 2ax plus with a squared. Okay. So 2ax is going to equal to the 2x there, isn't it? Okay. This is your constant. So we're going to find out what the constant is as soon as we find out what a is. So we have 2ax is equal to 2x. Well, that means that 2a is equal to 2. Therefore, a is equal to 1. If a is equal to 1, then therefore we can factorize it into x plus 1 squared. Okay, so what happens when you expand this x plus 1 squared? You're going to get x squared plus with 2x plus with 1 squared, which is 1. So let's have a look at this and compare it to what we have before. We have our original equation, which was this one here. We have x squared plus 2x is equal to what was it, 7? Yeah, 7. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a 1 here, and we're going to add a 1 here. Okay, when you add a 1, then you can factorize this into this. So you're going to have x plus 1 squared is equal to 7 plus 1, which is 8. And now we can solve for it. We can just do the square root of both sides, just like in question 7. And you're going to get x plus 1 is equal to this positive plus minus the square root of 8, which is equal to plus minus 2 root 2. Because 8, square root of 8 is equal to the square root of 4 times square root of 2. Square root of 4 is 2. times root 2, so that's 2 root 2 right there. Okay, I just simplified the root 8. So therefore x is equal to plus minus 2 root 2 minus 1, and there's your answer. But the question says give to 2 decimal places, so what we get is use a calculator, so I'll just do that real quick, see what we get. The first solution, I'll just put it here, x is equal to, if I do positive root 2, positive 2 root 2 minus 1, and I'll get 1.83. The next one, if I do negative root 2, 2 root 2, and I do minus 1, whoops, that's not right. Negative 2 root 2 minus 1, and I'll get negative 3.83. And there's your 2 solutions. So let's try again with question B. So question B, whoops. You're gonna have x squared minus 6x minus 15 equals to 0. Okay, so again we're gonna get the constant and we're gonna bring it to the other side. Okay, so we're gonna add 15 to both sides. So you're gonna get x squared minus 6x equals to 15. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a certain number to both of these. If you add it to both of them, then you haven't changed the equation, so you can actually do that. Okay, so we're gonna add a certain number to both sides, and then we're gonna add it in a way where this will factorize cleanly. Okay, so this will be x minus a. In the original one we had x plus a because this was a plus, but since this one's x squared minus 6x, so we're gonna have x minus a squared. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna expand this. We're gonna have x squared minus 2ax plus with a squared. So we know that 2ax is gonna be equal to 6. So therefore, well, 2a, sorry, not, yeah, so 2a is equal to 6. Yep, so therefore a is equal to 3. So therefore, if a is equal to 3, we can just put it in here. We can say, oh, well, I'm going to find a way, let me just rub this out. I'm going to find a way to factorize this whole thing into x minus 3 squared. Now when I do x minus 3 squared, what happens when I expand this? I'm going to get x squared minus 6x and then plus 9. Okay, so as you can see here, the only thing that's missing is a 9. If I add a 9 here and 9 here, I can factorize this cleanly into x minus 3. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so if I add a 9 there, I add 9 to that side, so I'm going to get x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 15 plus 9 will give me 24. Okay, nothing's changed. All I did was add 9 to both sides of the equation. But by doing so, I can factorize this now into x minus 3 squared is equal to 24. And now I solve for it just like I did in question 7. I do square root of both sides. I'm going to have x minus 3 is equal to the square, equal to plus minus the square root of 24. Okay, I'm gonna simplify this third. Now the square root of 24 is equal to the square root of let me think, of 4 times 6 equal to the square root of 4 times the square root of 6, so that's equal, square root of 4 is 2 times root 6, that's 2 root 6. So x minus 3 is equal to plus minus 2 root 6. So therefore we have to add 3 to both sides to solve for x, so x is equal to plus minus 2 root 6 plus 3, and there's your answer. in simplest third form. Now, but because we're not asking for simplest third form, we're asking for the 2 decimal place, put it into the calculator, and I'll see what I get. Okay, so root 24, and then we add 3. I'm going to get 7.89, so 7.9. And the other one is negative root 24 plus 3 will give me negative 1.9. And there's your answers. Technically, you don't have to simplify this third and get it to here. The reason is because they're asking for 2 decimal place. But if the question was asking you to do, let's say the question says, give the answer in simplest third form, then you need to simplify your third and then get this answer here. This will be the correct answer. Okay. Let's do question C. You're going to have x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. So again, I will add 2 to both sides. So I'm going to have x squared plus with 3x is equal to 2. Okay, so we know that we're going to factorize this into x plus a squared somehow by adding a certain number here to both sides. So we know that this is our 2a, okay? Because when you expand this, you're going to get x squared plus with 2ax plus with a squared. And if you compare this, this one to this one, you can see that 3 is the 2a. The number 3 is 2a. So 2a is equal to 3. Therefore, a is equal to 3 on 2. Whoops. Alright, so therefore we can say x plus with 3 on 2 squared. We're gonna factorize this. Let me just rub this out here. We have x squared plus with 3x. Okay, so we're gonna factorize this thing. Once we add a little number to it, we're gonna factorize it into this. Now the question is, what is this number here, this box? Okay, well, if we know our a is equal to 3 on 2, and when you expand this, you're going to get x squared plus with 3x plus with 9 on 4 when you square this, right? Which means that this has to be, so have a look at these two. Okay, the only difference is that this one doesn't have a 9 on 4, so we're going to add a 9 on 4 in here, and we're going to add a 9 on 4 over here as well. Because once you add a 9 on 4, you can factorize it into x plus with 3 on 2 squared, and that's equal to, let's make this out of 4. So actually this is, whoops. Okay, this is out of 1, so I'm going to multiply by 4, multiply by 4, so you're going to get 8 over 1 plus with 9, whoops, 8 over 4 plus 9 on 4, and this will be 17 on 4, so 17 on 4. Alright, now you can solve for x, square root both sides. X plus 3 on 2 is equal to this plus minus the square root of 17 on 4. So therefore, x is equal to plus minus, now the square root of 17 on 4 can be written as plus minus the square root of 17 on the square root of 4. Now this just becomes 2, so this will be root 17 on 2 plus minus. So therefore x is equal to plus minus square root of 17 on 2 and then minus 3 on 2. Why did I minus 3 on 2? Because I want to solve for x. Okay, and then just use a calculator to get the answers. Okay, you should be able to do question C, question last one by yourself. Hope that helps.